Skull, skull, skull. I was told, and I believed it too. I'm going to preface it with that. I believed it too.
You had
I
no
was
belief.
told that beating the Lions in Detroit as a 9.5 point underdog was impossible. I was told the Lions were a top five team in the NFL. They just lost to JJ McCarthy, which is going to become a recurring theme because JJ is going to light it up. He's only going to get better from here.
Sorry, you only play one game in Michigan a year.
Yeah. But did you know his stat line was pretty much identical to his game against the Bears? Two passing touchdowns, one rushing touchdown, and a pick, albeit this one wasn't a pick six, and exactly 143 yards passing in both games. Like that's kind of weird. But two road division wins, one on Monday Night Football, one against the division champs. Like, dude can play in prime time. Dude has no trouble playing in prime time. And the team showed up. Like, that was crazy. Like, I'll give Kevin O'Connell his credit for this game. He tried to give it away at the end by passing three times in the end zone at the 2 yard line.
If y'all didn't
Um,
get that third down play, it could have gotten ugly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's one thing I will give him his credit for is like he put the trust in JJ McCarthy instead of just running out as much time as possible in that last drive because we did run it twice like a team should. Um, but like to have the guts to have that be the one and only read and to give him the trust to be able to make that throw, that was a dot, man. That was just an absolute dot. So I just it's the grit, man. You just have to have that factor, and I love seeing it. And again, like the passing yards aren't there yet, but he's doing what he has to do. He's keeping the car on the highway, and like you just gotta hope he can stay healthy and keep getting better from here. So it's amazing what good offensive line play happened or like does to a team. We suddenly had a run game. What's a run game? I didn't know that until Sunday.
I'll give you
But
your flowers for this game, but I will say he's had 3 games.
yeah.
It was basically bad the entire Falcons game,
Oh yeah, no, that was a
mid
terrible
until
game.
the fourth quarter of the Chicago game, and then pretty good most of the game for Detroit.
Yeah, he had a great game against Detroit. The interception, I'm still iffy about that. And the Jamison Williams touchdown should not have counted. There was a huge push off. But the refs were also bad against the Lions as well because they had a roughing the passer against one of their defender guys that was not Hutchinson. That was literally just like JJ McCarthy throws the ball, and then as soon as that happens, he is hit to the ground just in a normal way. It's like, really? And that was a third down play too. So that's why it was impactful to the Lions. Um, so it is what it is. I didn't like the entire officiating crew for either team. Um,
Well,
but
where I was going with that is we'll see on this Sunday just if he can have that consistency
mhm,
because after his first good game, it was with
yeah,
a bad second game. He comes back, has a good first game. What happens against the
um,
Ravens, which have not been a great or good defense all year?
but this
Yes, they're
is
getting a bit healthy, but
yeah. I was gonna say, do you know how many? I told you how many injuries we sustained at Ford Field or Soldier Field that first week. We were decimated against the Falcons. That was just the
dude,
start of our
dude,
many
did you
injuries. It
see
was a
what
lot.
Tua did to them?
Yeah. And I've seen Tua against many other teams too. Sometimes it's just what it is. And again, that's Kevin O'Connell too. I really don't. Again, sometimes his team just shows up unprepared. We showed up unprepared for the Falcons. We showed up unprepared for the Chargers. So it is what it is. Um, but I mean, like JJ McCarthy's back. He didn't just have a kid before the game too. Like you're 22 years old and you just have a kid that week, so you miss practice. Um, and you also like are missing your starting center, you're missing your left tackle, you're missing Jordan Addison because he's suspended. Like you just sustained a bunch of injuries, and it's just like, who are you? who- who's the team right now. So,
Again, as I said,
uh,
I'll just say,
yeah,
where does it go from here? Like,
yeah,
he played good.
and
I'm
I get
not saying
it.
it's not.
Yeah, I just wouldn't compare it to the Falcons game because even if it does go to crap like the Falcons game did, it's not the same because this would be because of the actual skill or readiness of the team, whereas the Falcons, I believe, was the readiness of the team, but also a ton of injuries, just
We'll
colliding
see.
with
We'll see.
everything. So, to my knowledge, we are not very injured after Detroit. Aaron Jones TBD, but I think he should be good, and I think he was the only one really that
Didn't you say Justin Jefferson went down?
at one point, yeah, but I think it was cramps.
Okay.
Because he came back like 2 or 3 plays later that drive, and he finished out the game. So, oh, this is Storm, my cat. So, brief face reveal. Anyway, and then pure domination from the other half of the Vhawks
Yeah. If I could
against a
experience,
depleted Commanders team.
well, first half they weren't in that bad of shape. But if I could have that first half just last forever, oh, Sam Darnold, 4 touchdowns, 16 to 16 before starting the second half, 17 to 17. Torrey Horton, y'all let us get another speedy wide receiver, and we'll get to Rashid Shaheed in a minute. We'll get to that. Um, Defense had a little bit more troubles of trying to get Jaden Daniels down just because he's a bit more mobile than Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud. So there were times that Jaden Daniels was able to get away from the pressure when we've seen in other games the quarterbacks just haven't been able to. Um, but the defense still playing well. Ty Okada getting his first career interception. Cody White getting his first touchdown as a 6-year player. Um, so congrats to him. The Titans, Seattle, I think, had their bye week on tight end day or National Tight End Day. So they're like, we're going to pass touchdowns to the tight ends. We're going to let them run for touchdowns. Like, it was got to a point in that game where it was just, let's see what we can do with the tight ends. And whatever Seattle wanted to do in that first half, it just worked. And the Commanders just couldn't do much of anything. And then I do feel bad for Jaden Daniels' injury, but I don't think that was any part on Drake Thomas, or it wasn't anything on him that was vicious.
I don't
Um,
think it was a dirty play.
no,
No.
he was
I
just
think the
trying to
main thing
tackle
also though
him
was
and his
why
arm
was
got
he
stuck.
still out there? Yeah.
That's also another thing. I've heard complaints on both. I've heard arguments on both sides about he just got back. You're trying to give momentum on the field or on the film, trying to make the score closer than it is. Others saying he just shouldn't be out there. And it honestly gets back to when he was coming out of college and got drafted by the Commanders. Is it another RG3 situation? And especially with them being in the throwback uniforms against the same team that injured RG3 in the playoffs that year, a lot of reminiscing of, is this
A lot
just
of
going to be another
memories.
RG3 situation?
Yeah, a lot of trauma left over there.
A light
Um,
quarterback that's just not sturdy. Has
yeah,
a
and that's
bunch
the
of
thing is
talent.
like you got to keep in mind your record too this season. Like you don't have that good of a record, but you're also not out of it. Like what I was saying to you last week is like the Vikings were 3-4. Like we're not out of the race by any means. We just have not looked good. Then we go to Detroit and win, knock off one of the best teams in the league. But it's like you're down that much against the Seahawks. It's not, you don't have much time left. There's no way you bring that game back. You're not pulling a Bills against the Ravens type deal.
Or here's
Because
the other thing. One, either don't be running run play options where you have him getting out of the pocket.
yeah,
At least running it. If you're getting him out of the pocket, it's just for throwing, not for running. And you know the whole game they were having trouble blocking Seattle's defensive line. You know that was an issue. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a one play, a defender got loose, tackled him, and it was a bad tackle that just shit
Yeah.
locked.
The game was over halfway through the third,
Yeah. And
if not
Seattle
by the
was
end of the third.
pressuring
So
the
my thing
entire
is like,
game.
why was space Mariota? Why was Mariota not playing the fourth quarter? Like that's like my because my argument like you can still play to win, but you're not going to. So why play your franchise guy more when you're getting beat the heck up
Or you
by
can
a
have them
defensive
out there,
front?
just run the ball.
Yeah, run the ball because like the only way they're gonna beat you is by doing RPOs. So I get it for the first 3 quarters, but like when you're getting blown out of the water and it's not looking any good, like just take the L, get out of there alive. And I think that's just the thing. But if Dan Quinn's anything like Kevin O'Connell, Jaden Daniels will play the next 3 weeks. With that arm, they'll have a cast on or something. I really hope that he's nothing like Kevin O'Connell. Um, but yeah, I didn't like it. Again, player safety was different with Kevin O'Connell and Wentz, but with this, it's more of just like you've got a
There's nothing
guy who
you get
you
out of
know
this
can get
game.
hurt. He's been hurt already this season. He got hurt, I believe, last season briefly. In college, I think he was hurt a little bit as well. He's not been
Suffer.
healthy all the time,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
He's a
He's been
mobile guy.
banged
He's
up.
getting hit
I
more than other quarterbacks. Yeah,
Because I think he had that rib injury last year that had him out for a game or two.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, but especially when they
Exactly what I mean.
punted down 31-7 in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
that should have been okay. This is us saying we're done with the game. This is
Yeah.
not college football where you need to get the score closer to make it look good for a committee that decides if you get in the playoffs or not.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to the end of the season, it's records. It's not,
Yeah.
oh, you lost to them by 20, not 14. Sucks to suck. Um, but moving on the game and getting to see the Seattle's acquisition during the week out of our two teams. Um, Rashid Shaheed, welcome to Seattle. Um, at first, I was like, he's on his last year of the deal. We gave up a fourth and a fifth. But then in his press conference, someone asked him, have you been thinking about free agency? And he's like, I want to be here. I want to make Seattle my forever home. And he's like, whatever we got to do, either by the end of the season or after the season, we'll get it done. I want to be at Seattle. And you think it's only been a couple hours he was there. He hadn't really met Sam Darnold. He knew Clint Kubiak from the Saints, where that offense started out really hot last season, and then injuries to the offensive line just derailed everything. Um, but not knowing much about the organization, not knowing he hadn't really talked to JSN either. He had just heard a few things from Chris Olave about JSN. Um, now it's also you're waking up what 1-7, 1-8 to
You're going
six and
to a
two.
winning franchise, the best record in the NFC.
Yeah,
So
tied for the best record. And I just think it's one of those things of you have those type of guys who want to win, and Seattle is a winning culture right now. You think even last year when they didn't make the playoffs, they were one win away from being in the playoffs, and that
sorry
was a
about
rebuilding year.
it. Yeah, seriously. And you guys are getting rid of quarterbacks at the right time. It is really funny that
Somehow it's just
you timed it correctly.
Russell Wilson. Oh, Seattle's gonna suck. They have Geno Smith and Drew Lock. They're not gonna be jack shit. Russell's going to go to Denver and be with the guy who was with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to go to the playoffs. They're going to be contenders. It was the offensive coordinator
Me with Drew
for
Brees.
the Packers. No,
I see what you mean. The offensive coordinator.
the
I see.
first guy that was the
Yeah.
coach before Sean Payton.
I thought Sean Payton was the guy when Russell Wilson went over.
No, no, no. It was Nathaniel Hackett first,
Nathaniel,
then Sean Payton.
he was the head coach of the Broncos.
Yes, the first year.
Okay,
Because they had gotten
I
Nathaniel
must be
Hackett because
confused.
they wanted Rodgers, Rodgers decided not
Yeah,
to, so they got Russell
that's right.
Wilson. And
Yeah.
then Nathaniel Hackett was a hack. They fired him, then got Sean Payton in to try to correct the situation.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson and Sean Payton just never got along, and Russ was cut.
I wouldn't get along with
Um,
them either. Yeah. So
and then we get rid of Geno Smith, and it's going to be a downgrade. Seattle doesn't know what they're doing. They should have kept Geno Smith. He's so much better than Dar. What's that? Did he throw another pick right now? Like, and they trade Jacoby Myers. That team's not good right now. I feel sorry for Pete Carroll because I love the guy, but right now Geno Smith sucks. Russell Wilson's sitting on the bench in the Giants, and Sam Darnold is leading the fifth or top five rated offense in the league with a top five defense. So Seattle right now, we're doing pretty good.
the rebuild has been a success.
And it
Not that
took
it
one
was
off
ever
season.
really, not that it
I
was
don't know
really
what the
ever
issue
really
is. People
a
say
rebuild, but yeah.
People say these rebuilds are hard. We got rid of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith, in one off season. Now we have Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, Torrey Horton, um, Bobo. Like, what what's this difficulty about rebuilding? I don't know why the Jets take so long.
Yeah. Because they need more than just receivers. My
Yeah.
gosh. And now they need everything, but at least they've got three first rounders this year. Um,
No, it's
or
only two.
four. No, did they trade away one of theirs?
No. The Cowboys is next year.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think they got a second rounder this year.
Yeah, because they got two first from the Colts, so that's adding one to their existing one, and then they got one from the Cowboys as well. So, and a second, yeah. They
The
got three
second is
first
this year. The
and a
first is
second with
next
their
year.
trades. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know it was next year. So they got two in back-to-back years. So that's helpful. But that front office,
Well, it'd be two this year, then three next year. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, exactly. A
The
lot of
other
draft
question
picks.
is, will those picks hit?
No.
Do we trust the Jets? Well, the Jets pick good players. There's a reason these guys are
Yeah.
getting traded out of
Yeah, okay,
New
yeah. Well,
Jersey.
the players will be good. Will they get it together? That's the
No,
tough part. But
that
yeah.
whole team, sell the whole team, cut everybody, make them a new franchise, let them like completely rebuild, and they'll still F it up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we'll briefly talk about the Vikings, and then we'll shoot you to our other video that we'll release, which will be our short, normal, like, reactions of the week, short little things, and just predictions. But final thoughts on Seahawks and Vikings. To go back to the Vikings, I mean, like, same thing as last week, essentially. Like, we're not out of it. We look good against the Lions, cool. Like we seem to show up certain weeks and not show up other weeks, but also we're playing a quarterback with one arm. So it's kind of just like, what are we seeing? Offensive line wasn't healthy. We had 80% of them against the Lions, and that made a clear difference. The run blocking was great. We finally had over 100 yards rushing. I don't even remember when the last time we did that was. We might have hit it against the Bengals. I'm not sure. Everybody does well against the Bengals defense. But
Even the Jets.
yeah, even the Jets. But it's just like that was great. The protection was a bit better. He still got sacked, I think, 5 times again, but we also sacked Goff 5 times. The defense showed up. Van Ginkel coming back fixes everything. I don't know why, but when Van Ginkel is on the field, that defense is on another level. It is crazy. It looked back to the Brian Flores of old, where it's like this defense causes havoc where it goes. Like we didn't pick him off, but we blocked a field goal. We forced a fumble on Montgomery, so we won the turnover battle. And that was the difference in the game. I mean, we won by 3. So I mean, we don't block that field goal, we're going into overtime. Um, but I mean, like I liked what I saw from all 3 phases. I hate that number 37, Javier Thomas, I think, cut that dude or fire the special teams coach. You can't hold 2 or 3 times at minimum
Each
every
game.
single game. Like you're wiping out Miles Price, our returner, number 4. Give that man his flowers. He has been a consistent returner. If you have watched any Vikings games, he brings out at least 2 punts or kicks to the 50 every single game. And most of them get called back by holding. We were lucky the first one didn't get called back. He brought it to like the 40 or 38 or something. We had great starting field position after the Lions scored because they got the ball first. And like, but his 99-yard punt return touchdown holding just like that. I hate it. And that's one thing with our team. And we gotta get better. Levi Drake Rodriguez, the guy who blocked the field goal, got special teams player of the week. So love to see that. Or at least NFC. I don't know if they break it up by conference now. He won
I'm
an
not
award.
sure.
So yeah, he won a special teams award. So good for him. He also got a sack in that game. Um, but yeah, I mean, Jared Goff, who would have thought when he gets pressured in the pocket, which also career high for Flores and for against the Lions, I think we had a 68% pressure rate on Goff, which against that offensive line, that is a feat. I don't care what anybody says. You get 68% pressure rate on Jared Goff behind Penei Sewell and those guys. Ooh. Gibbs was benched. I found out because I was literally looking for the second half. I'm like, where the heck is Zero? Because he's the one I'm worried about the most because he's arguably the best running back in the league. And I'm just like, oh, he's benched because whenever he would pass block, he gets his ass kicked. He gets pancaked. So that's why Montgomery was out the whole time, and then we just stopped him too. And it's just like, where's this run defense been? We can stop Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs, but we can't stop Vidal and like all these other dudes that are not as big name. It's just crazy. Um, love to see the love to see this team come to show. JJ McCarthy again, like he doesn't have all the yards. 143. You look at that and you're like, he probably lost the game, but he throws his touchdowns, he runs his touchdowns, he throws first downs. Like that's the important stuff. When he needs to make the plays, he makes the plays, and that's really all you need from your quarterback. So I think the yards will get there. As long as the clutch plays keep happening, I'm all good. The defense is good enough for us to keep going. Hopefully the special teams gets cleaned up. That's my real concern right now. But I think overall the offense just has to keep, improving. And it's just going to take time with JJ. This is third game. His 2 games are on the road in division. Like it's crazy. We're 4-4, but we're 2-0 in the division. With how close the North is right now, 5-2-1 and 2-5-3 teams, it's wide open right now. Especially considering again 2-0 in the division. The Bears are 0-2, the Lions are 1-2, and the Packers are 1-0, I think.
I
So
think so.
we've got the best division record. So I mean, dude, like we're in it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm actually so where I wanted to end was the trade deadline, obviously, because like we didn't do anything, and I'm actually good with that because I don't know exactly what we would have done.
I don't know
I
what you would have given up or what you would have
yeah,
gotten.
I think the only move that would have made sense would be to try to trade Jonathan Allen for something, just because he hasn't been showing up on the stat sheet. We wouldn't get as much, but we'd be able to lift the contract. But to be honest, I think he has been making a difference. He's just not popping. You know what I mean? Like there are guys who are eyeball test and film room. You see how much havoc they cause, but they don't.
Leonard
They aren't
Williams.
the ones getting the pressures or the sacks. Yeah, exactly. Leonard Williams is one of those players. Like you don't see him all the time. You don't necessarily like are like, oh, he had a great game, but then you go back and watch the film, and you're like, oh,
You watch
damn,
the slow,
he's all over
you
the
watch the
place.
replay, and it's like, oh, Leonard Williams just wrecked the entire offensive line so they could go sack him.
Yeah, or like Leonard Williams or Jonathan Allen are taking up 2 guys so
Yeah,
everybody else can hit home. Like it's like, oh, okay, there you go. Like, and Granted, like I don't know if it's to that extent that Jonathan Allen's there, but I have seen a good amount of replays where it's like, oh, okay, this dude's taking away an extra head. So it's like, okay, cool deal. But honestly, like, we're not in the position, I would say, to be buyers because of our cap situation next year. So, I mean, I'm happy with staying put. This offseason is going to be interesting to see who we get rid of, but I'm good with that. So, overall, I'm in a good place.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, just happy with where he's at right now. Still things to clean up, but going 21 to 24, 333, 4 touchdowns and a pick. You get 7 guys catches, um, and that's with Cooper Kupp, Bobo, and Derek Young all being out in that game. And then you bring Shaheed in, which that puts more or less pressure on Cooper Kupp to be that consistent number 2 guy, because now you can bring in Shaheed and he knows how to be that type of guy. Um,
And
so,
Darnold loves a deep throw.
and
I
especially when
would
this
know
guy
with the
got that
97-yard pass to
speed.
Justin Jefferson in the back of the end zone against the Niners. Yeah, no, I think it's going to work out perfectly for you. So I'm calling it. He's getting at least a touchdown, big chunk play against the Vikings. So I'm
Well,
calling at least 170-yard touchdown catch against the Vikings.
well, that would
But
be similar to Cody White's one catch, 60-yard touchdown that he had in the game. So,
yeah, there you go. I mean, hey, it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's 4 weeks away. That'll be a podcast bowl again, a little bit of a rematch. Um, maybe Darnold's the key. Maybe Darnold is just the key to whoever wins the podcast bowl. We'll find that out.
and
But
now we have him for the next 3 years.
yeah, so will we play each other all those years? Don't know, but
Well, that'll be all for
stay
this
tuned.
video, and then we'll be back with our kind of reactions to week 9 for the other teams and week 10 predictions.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.